Bush, also worked for a long time for Mitch McConnell. Scott, always good to have you on. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
So I should note for our viewers that you, as well as your former boss McConnell, have publicly condemned January 6th and also criticized Trump for his role in that, although, of course, McConnell did not vote to impeach here. I wonder, as you hear that reporting there about the pieces coming together, about, at a minimum, the president's inaction on the day of January 6th, are there enough puzzle pieces to come together, in your view, for the Republican Party, for the leaders across the board, to step away from Trump?
Well, it's a great question. I think the reckoning on this will come in 2024 if he seeks the nomination for the presidency again. I mean, look, I voted for him twice. I'm quite pleased with most of the policy outcomes of the Trump administration. But what's become clear is that he violated his oath of office. And I think we already knew a lot of this. He did not act on that day to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. It is in his oath of office. And so as a party, Jim, what we're going to end up having to reckon with here is, can you return someone to the White House? Will you support someone going back to the White House who, in a moment of crisis, chose to violate their oath of office? It says, to the best of my ability. And I don't think, based on this reporting and based on what we already know, anyone could argue that he acted to do his oath of office to the best of his ability.
And Scott, according to at least Liz Cheney, the answer to your question as to whether he can return to the Oval Office and become president again of the United States given his inaction is no. But it's not just from people like yourselves or Mitch McConnell that we heard condemn those inactions. The days and the hours following the insurrection, we heard from Kevin McCarthy. Now we heard, thanks to Liz Cheney over the weekend, saying that Ivanka Trump went in twice to tell her father to do something. And the same with Mark Meadows, getting text messages from Donald Trump Jr., having his dad stop it if he can, please. And yet just days and weeks after that, the situation seemed to change. Why do you think that is? And what message are voters and Trump supporters sending?
Well, I mean, obviously, Donald Trump has stayed on his course and stayed on his message that the election was stolen. And he is the most influential Republican in the country. The grassroots of the Republican Party see him as the leader of the party, and they are more inclined to believe what he says about this matter than, you know, anyone in Congress or me or anyone else for that matter. And so as long as that is the case, that is going to be the prevailing opinion. It's not everybody's opinion in the Republican Party, but yeah, if you go out to a party meeting these days, you'll find a lot of people who not only agree with Donald Trump that the election was stolen, but believe, you know, he should be returned to the presidency. Now, I assume we're going to have a big primary about this in 2024. If I had to put money on it today, I'd say Trump's the odds-on favorite to be the nominee, but surely somebody will stand up to this man and say, I like a lot of what you did, but January 6th was an unforgivable day.
So I suppose the question then is who, right? I mean, over the weekend, Peter Meyer, one of the 10 House Republicans who voted to impeach former Trump and now drawing ire from the former president, some of the supporters, said, echoing you, at the end of the day, there's no other option right now in the Republican Party. It's a sad testament. Is there really no other option? Handicap this if you can. Who can stand up?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I totally disagree with that statement. I mean, I understand his analysis, which at the moment, if a primary were held, it's obvious Donald Trump would be the nominee. But we have a number of people who could not only execute the same policies you loved about Donald Trump, but also not violate their oath of office in the process. I mean, you look at the governor of Florida, DeSantis. You look at Tim Scott of South Carolina. You look at Nikki Haley. You look at Ted Cruz. Go down the line. We have a number of highly qualified Republicans. Mike Pence. We have a number of highly qualified Republicans who could fulfill the duties of this office, win a national election, and not drag this January 6th baggage into another national election. I actually believe Trump, there's some small chance he could win a national election in 2024, but as a Republican Party, is that what's best for us? Is that what's best for the country? I argue, and I think many Republicans believe, but maybe can't say out loud, there's a whole raft of people that could do this, win an election, and fulfill the policy goals that we have without dragging all this baggage along.
Goes back to Jim's question, though, who? I guess time will tell. Scott Jennings,